I want to put my foot on your throat when I'm racing or competing against you. But knowing what he was probably feeling, I think everybody's got a feel for Denny and how it all kind of went down for him.
Such a range of emotions for Kyle Larson in victory lane, but the emotion today is one of two-time champion. He's here on the day after. I feel like I should sing like "We Are the Champions" or something as you sit down right now,
I
Kyle.
think that was one of the last songs I played last night. So
Really?
yeah,
Or this morning?
this morning, yeah, just a few hours ago.
How was the night?
Yeah, the night was good. Honestly, it was perfect. It was a lot less rowdy than the first one, but still rowdy enough that everybody had a good time. So yeah, it was fun.
So are you like you have a house in Phoenix, you were able to go back there and kind of do how long did you spend at the track with your guys? Like how did you really take it in?
It's crazy, after the from the time the checker flag falls till when you finally leave was, gosh, probably 5 hours. So
Mhm.
the pictures and interviews and all that, it's a whirlwind of, we're all trying to make it as quick as possible. So but then we went out, I don't know, from midnight to 3 a.m. or whatever, and yeah, I had a good time. So yeah, it was cool. Everybody enjoyed it, and it was just great to celebrate with the team. And now, we'll have the banquet tomorrow and do some more celebrating.
You and I and Katelyn spoke at Catwalk for a Cause, and she had said how she had kind of retired the shotgunning beer. And I don't know if you remember, but I said to her, if you win the championship, you'll have to bring it back. And she did, thank goodness, because I love her for doing that. We have to run that video. How's her form after taking a little bit of time off is what I want to know.
She's had a lot of time off, so
Yeah.
I would say her form is as good as always. So yeah, she doesn't really drink anymore, so that was cool to see her
Yeah.
enjoying it. And I know, as I do every week, I have so many fans come up to me, like, "Oh, I can't wait to shotgun with your wife," whatever. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't tell them that she doesn't really do it anymore, but I knew if we somehow won the championship, she'd get shotgunning again. So I was proud of her.
Well, from a girl who's done plenty of keg stands and all of that stuff over the years, she's my hero because I do not know how to shotgun a beer. So she might have to take some time off, but at some point, maybe she can show me how to do it. The ride along with your kids, I know that's kind of a newer thing, right? I think Kevin Harvick started it for the first time. Do you get to like, are you worried about them? Are you thinking about them? Like they might, the babies, like Caitlin's got to go. Get them
No.
clutching each other. Oh, look at that.
Owen's a good big brother, at least to Cooper. He's mean to Audrey, but yeah, I knew he'd have him in his hands there. But yeah, just really cool. The last time we won a championship, Cooper wasn't even a thought. He wasn't born yet. Audrey was really young, so I don't think she probably remembered it. So I think Owen definitely remembered the first one. So it's cool for him to you experience this one, and you have Audrey hopefully remember this one for the rest of her life, and then now have an updated set of pictures with Cooper in it. So yeah, it was just cool. It's always fun to have your family there, and to have such a shocking kind of championship just felt good for everybody.
Did you, I don't want to say like, did you think that, that you were the underdog going into this because you're Kyle freaking Larson and, we know what you can do. But with the stories that were surrounding the other guys, right? Chase Briscoe had such a strong playoffs, the Martinsville win for William Byron, the story be, Denny. Did you feel like you were sort of the fourth man in line?
Well, I don't necessarily think that I was like the underdog because I felt like we were all pretty equal. But yeah, I mean, I think the storylines of everybody else was definitely bigger, or whatever you want to call it, as it probably typically would be and should be. So no, I mean, I was just grateful to be, in the final four, and just have an opportunity to go beat three guys. That was all that was on my mind, was that we just need to do whatever we can to beat the three of them. And a lot of the race, I just didn't think that was possible. And for the race to play out like it did, and for our team to make the calls that they did and to win the championship was just unreal. So, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be good competitor if I didn't recognize, how the performance that Denny put in. He did a
Yeah.
great job, and just the fight that he and his team did was amazing. And yeah, for him to come up short on another, winning the championship was just, yeah, there was definitely a part of me that is still sad, and it just feels kind of weird. But all in all, I'm grateful that we're two-time champions now, and our team, as every team would be, is deserving of a championship.
Have you ever felt that sadness, or I think the word that was in the media center, empathy? Have you ever felt that for a guy that you beat before?
For a guy that I've beaten, no, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
So it's a different sensation. It's a different emotion, huh?
Yeah, it was such a weird feeling. I think we're all the types of competitor, and I know I am that. I want to put my foot on your throat when I'm racing or competing against you, but
Hmm.
um, and then that's the case, as I'm competing yesterday. But yeah, I could kind of, you know, I knew what he was going through a little bit because on a much different scale, I had been chasing like a Chili Bowl win for 13 years, and at that point it was half of my lifetime.
Hmm.
So I I had been close to winning and all that, and then I got beat by Christopher Bell on the last lap, and it just felt so deflating, and I'm sure that's what he was feeling, but probably times 10. So I never want to experience that myself again. So I just, knowing what he was probably feeling and going through is just, I've got a heart. So
Yeah.
it just felt weird. It felt, a weird celebration and all that. But, regardless, I'm still pumped that I won, and we won as a team, and the fight that it took to do it. But yeah, I think everybody's got a feel for Denny, and how it all kind of went down for him.
That's so interesting because when you think about when you lost those chili bowls every single time and the emotion that you had to go through during that time, you never see sort of why this is happening, right? Maybe this is the why, right? To have sort of empathy or understanding of what that moment feels like for somebody that you care very much about because you guys are friends. So you understand what he's. Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, and two, to show kind of how big of a person he is. He came out last night as well, and
Oh,
was there to celebrate a little bit. So
wow.
yeah, it was. I try to put myself in his shoes, and I don't
Yeah.
think there's any way that I would have been out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's grown a lot as a person, and was great to see him there. And yeah, it just again was weird. Like I'm telling him sorry, right? And like that's just such a weird thing as a competitor, and all that. So, but yeah, I hope he has another opportunity to race for a championship again before his career is over. But championship or not, I think we all know he's a champion driver, and a champion of our sport. So
Yeah.
um, I hope he can someday feel the feeling of accomplishing a championship, something he's worked so hard for. But if not, I don't think he's. It's not going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. He's already first
Yeah.
ballot Hall of Famer.
No question. I went back and got some stats. You guys have had such great battles, not just for championships, obviously. 8 times you guys have finished 1-2. Denny has gotten the best 7 of those 8 times. I'm sure you've heard that stat, right? I mean, you guys have duked it out on the racetrack for sure.
Yeah, no, we've definitely had our fair share of good battles, especially over the past 5 years or so. But yeah, we've had our run-ins too. But still, I always love competing with him.
That's
He's
awesome.
he's the ultimate competitor on the racetrack and in any sport that he's involved in. So um, yeah, he's definitely somebody that can push any competitor to the next level, and somebody who's definitely made me a better race car driver. So I appreciate that.
Just a couple more questions. I always try to like that's what we do, right? As reporters or fans or whatever, we don't get to see your faces when you're inside the race car. So, wondering what sort of the emotion is. Number one, when the race starts, I'm thinking, what are they saying to each other as they're coming to that first green flag? The pace car kind of goes off, especially when it's this big. And I'm wondering, what were you saying to yourself, and I guess having to switch from, okay, Denny's going to win this, to attack mode again, right? Because that's what you had to do in a very short period of time. You come off pit road, you get 2 tires. It's now attack mode. We've got a shot.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think for me yesterday, it was just a lot of focus, and just kind of calm sort of mindset throughout it all. It was just, what do we got to do to keep ourselves in the hunt all race long? And then even when we got the flat tire and was able to stay one lap down rather than two, like, all right, how do we get back to the lead lap? Thinking through that quickly. And then a caution came out, and then I'm like, okay, we're gonna get back to the lead lap here. Like, you were still kind of in it. So just staying focused through it all, and then, putting a lot of trust in your team that they're going to make the right, either adjustments on the car that you need, or the pit crew's going to do a good job to get me forward, or their team's going to make the right pit strategy call, which is all kind of what came about. They're the final 10% of the race. So yeah, just such a team, victory, team championship, and one that I'm proud of and will always remember for, the sheer craziness of it.
Yeah. I know you mentioned the Champions book. I know that's a sacred thing. When you got that the first time, who was the first entry that you looked at?
Well, I started from the beginning.
You did.
Yeah, which would have been,
Jimmy,
I
right?
can't, Jimmy
2005 was
to
it? These are.
Jimmy to Tony, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at the end of his sixth championship or something, maybe
Oh, that's what he
fifth.
started it that late. I, for some reason, thought he started it earlier.
No, yeah. So yeah, it's just really cool to see, how long it's kind of gone on, and
Yeah.
it's definitely the most special piece of winning the championship. So, it's really cool that I'll be in there a couple times now, and I get to read, what let's see, what Joey wrote to Blaney, and then what Blaney wrote back to Joey. I think is what I'm most excited to see now, and then also get kind of caught back up on what everybody had said before, because it's been a while since I read it. So, but yeah, I'm so thankful that Jimmy started that, because I think
Yeah.
it's going to continue on for who knows how long, and it's going to be pretty amazing to see someday. Which I guess I won't be able to see it at some point, but
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah, get to keep my hands for a while.
That does, you get to leave your mark. Before I let you go, I know that you mentioned sort of big time, sort of what this means to your, quote unquote legacy. And you said it's really hard to think about that when you're kind of still in the moment and still racing. But when you were getting ready to take on Phoenix and potentially win a second, that didn't even cross your mind about like Kyle Larson, 2-time Cup Series champion, and what that would mean to the name Kyle Larson and what people think about when they say and hear your name?
Yeah, no, it doesn't, or it's not something I think about or thought
Yeah.
about anyways. I think as a competitor, I don't know, you just try to focus on the present and not to get too far ahead of yourself. So
Yeah.
I didn't sure, I had thoughts of like, oh, what's victory lane celebration, like what would that look like, and whatnot. But I don't know, I just have not ever really thought about the legacy side of it. So I just think it's something that's, at least for me personally, like, hard to, I don't know, reflect on those sort of things right now, because yeah, I just feel like I'm so far from the end of my career that um I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to get stuck in just being satisfied with two, or satisfied with
Yeah.
one, or thinking ahead of what two, or thinking ahead about what three or four or five might be, and all that. So just trying to go out there every week and prepare and do the best job I can, and then yeah, those results will take care of themselves someday.
Well, I know you and I've talked many times before about your desire very young to be able to succeed in every form of motorsports, to be that guy who can kind of like a Tony Stewart, right? Who can kind of jump from one to the next. And so I'll tell you what the legacy will be: one of the best to ever do it. Not only in the race car, Kyle, but in terms of being a human and the way that you handle everything. So thank you, champion, 2-time champion. Have fun in Cabo. Have fun with everything that you're doing, and have fun with your nap. Tell the family I said
Yeah,
hi.
I will. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Kyle. Two-time champion, that is rare territory and one that Kyle Larson absolutely deserves. And of course, next year we're going back to Homestead, and he's pretty darn good there as well. Championship is over. The 2025 season is over. This was my 20th year in NASCAR. It's been such a pleasure doing this every single Monday with the winners. And we've got one more best day ever to hand out. And that, of course, would go to maybe the entire drivers meeting, but most certainly to Noah Gragson and most certainly to William Byron. Sydney Sweeney, the beautiful, gorgeous Sydney Sweeney, was at the drivers meeting yesterday, and everybody knew she was there. I wish I had been there because, my goodness, she's awesome. And the guys, as they should, took the opportunity to get pictures with her and say hello. So we saw Noah Gragson get a picture with her, and Austin Dillon, being the good wingman that he is, brought William Byron over to say hello as well. So great day. We love it when the celebrities are at the drivers meeting, and she is a huge celebrity. By the way, sounds like she picked Ryan Blaney to win. I know she's close with the Blaneys, but she picked Ryan Blaney to win, and of course, she got that pick. So let's get her in a racetrack again, maybe next year, and maybe in a car again. So best day ever goes to those guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me every single Monday on the day after my 20th season covering NASCAR. It was a special one, and we'll see you after the Daytona 500.